Hi, I'm Captain Larry Bell with Texas Fishing Tips, and this is your weekly fishing report. All up here in Ayers Bay, all around this second chain islands, all in this area here, around these little islands up here, across this area, up and down these cuts and edges, all along this area here. Fish these deeper edges, all around this area here. You can wade this; it's a little soft. You may want to just stay in your boat, stay on your trolling motor, work around all that area, in and out of it. But the fish are hanging out in that 3 to 5 foot of water. You got good amount of bait that's working in and out of here. There's some nice box fish that are in here. If you don't need these trout, don't keep them. Keep them, chunk them back. Just keep what you need and then throw the rest back. There's scattered redfish. There's some scattered black drum as well. We're catching the black drum again on the Little John. Watermelon red is the perfect flavor for them. If you're going to throw that, expect to catch one on those ever so often. It's not a lot, but ever so often you can. But the trout have been really good in here, especially the deeper water. Now early, if you get there, sun up, just a little after sun up, you can get them closer to the shell up there, a little bit shallower. That bait's hanging just up on that edge there, and those fish are mixed in there with them. And as that sun continues to rise, they're going to drop off in that deeper water. Throw you a little bit bigger bait now, because again we're on the transition phase from a full moon to a new moon. So you're going to get those wild card days where you can have all different kinds of days, where it'd be good, great, bad, poor, average, whatever. Just keep going, just keep chunking, keep working that area, keep finding your bait, and you'll find your fish in this area. All over here in Carlos, closer to the inside area there, close to the ICW, all this shoreline here, all in Carlos. I'll work this area here. It's really good. You've got a lot of undulation up and down, hill and dale area in there. There's a lot of buried grass that's in here. There's been a nice amount of bait that's been working here. Now, the thing that you got to look out for, it is dirty. The water's really dirty in there. It's still got a lot of that tea stain, and that's everywhere. But especially here, depending on what your wind is, that area there can get blown out pretty quick. So it makes it really kind of difficult. So if that's the case, make sure you're throwing a darker version. Texas roach has been good in that particular water. The magic grass, chicken of the sea, all in the down south, the supermodel flavors have been really good working that there. Just working a regular old 1/8 ounce jig head, bouncing it, working all the potholes, working the deeper grass points, working the edges. There's a decent amount of fish that are holding up in here. Found a wayward redfish up and down this shoreline every once in a while, and then pulled a flounder out every once in a while. But those are all bonus fish in this particular area right now. And you can continue all the way out here to this point. Real muddy right there on that point, but that's where that old ICW that comes through there, and it drops off in a really deep water. So again, as the sun continues to climb and that water continues to heat up, these fish are going to drop off. So this is a really good area that you're going to want to throw maybe just a little bit bigger jig head, put a 1/4 ounce, and work that 7 to 8 foot of water right here off this point. There's a lot of current that runs through it. There's a lot of bait that runs through there. You can find some really nice fish that are cruising and hanging in this deeper, cooler water. This little edge right here on the St. Joe shoreline, as you head up toward the Paul's Mott area, all around here, there's been a lot of good flow coming in out of here. The bait have been stacked up in this area here. There's been some black drum that's been pushed in, black drum that's pushed out. You just have to see where they're at on a particular day, depending on what that tide is doing. Some days you'll find them out front. You can catch those on Little Johns. You can catch those on a burner shad. Both of those have been working pretty well. Not necessarily targeting black drum, but just red fishing in general and trout, and the black drum are eating them. So continue to work all this area up and down here off this point. Now you can get out here on the long reef, which there's very little of it left. It's out there on the very tip of it. Just a little bit of birds are out there just before you get to the ICW. That whole area still got a lot of shell that's on it, and when this tide starts to drop down on us a little bit, this area here is really good because these fish hang off in that deeper water. They'll troll the edges of that shell looking for stuff to eat. And this is where would be a good spot to throw that down south, either the regular version or the super version, the supermodel. Either one doesn't matter. Though the magic grass, so the chicken of the sea in here. Again, the water's tea stained, but it's trying to get color back into it. And there's a bunch of other little scattered reefs that are all out here in Aransas Bay, and every one of these have got some fish that are hanging around them at one point in time or another. If you find a little bit of bait that's working here off these edges of these things, all out here in the middle of Aransas Bay, work them. Stay on your trolling motor. Some of them you can get on. depending on what the tide is, it's maybe 2.5 foot, might be belly deep, maybe chest deep. If you're comfortable getting out and wading that, then do it. But they're not super big reefs, so be careful when you get to the edges, because those edges will drop on you, 6-7 foot. But this time of year, when it's getting hot, gets middle of the day, these are great areas to locate you some nice fish. Thanks for watching. I'm Captain Larry Bell.